If you're collaborating with others on an Unreal Engine project, source control is what allows everyone to work on the same project seamlessly. Diversion is an excellent source control option since it integrates directly into Unreal Engine through a plugin. From my own experience using it on a project planned for commercial release, it's allowed my team to collaborate efficiently and avoid losing any progress. Source control can be intimidating for new developers, especially when dealing with merges and conflicts. As someone who just wants to collaborate and get work done without technical hassles, I can't recommend Diversion enough for its simplicity and ease of use. Diversion offers a free plan up to 5 users, 100GB of storage and 5 repositories, making it a perfect choice for small teams. In this video, I'll show you how to set it up so you can start collaborating with your team quickly. I've provided a link in the description that will take you to the official Diversion website. You want to make an account on Diversion, input your email and password, log in, and look in the dashboard for the download desktop app. Download and install it, as you will be using this to manage your repositories. Another key step is to install the Diversion plugin that can be found in the Epic Games launcher. Head into the Fab Market and search for Diversion. Make sure to install for the correct Unreal Engine version your project is using. Now we just need to enable the Diversion plugin. You can either create a new Unreal Engine project, or you can use an existing one if you prefer. Head to Edit, Plugins, and search for Diversion. You want to enable it and restart the engine. Once it's enabled, we need to set up the repository in Diversion. To do this, go back to the Diversion app and select New Repository, Create New Repository. Select Create from Existing Folder, then locate and choose your Unreal project folder. It will now create a new repository and begin synchronizing your project. This may take some time depending on your project size, so just wait until the sync is complete. Once it's finished, you'll notice a checkmark appear when you hover over the side. Whenever you open Diversion, you'll see this screen here that shows your local workspaces and repositories. Clicking on the repository that you created will take you to the next screen, which might seem a bit confusing if you're new to source control. On the left is your workspace, where you can see additions, changes, and any files that gets deleted. The middle tab is where you create and manage workspaces and branches. You'll spend most of your time here creating new branches and merging them as part of collaborating with others. First of all, let's commit our entire project to the Diversion repository. Click on this checkbox. That will select the entire project and its files, and we just need to write down a simple comment and press commit. It will display all the files included in your commit, which should cover the entire project. Click on the blue commit button and give it a second or two for the files to be uploaded. Anytime you commit any work, you can see it on this home page on your branch, but you can also see it in this tab called History that also shows you past commits. You can launch your project directly from Diversion without using the Epic Games launcher. You just have to click on your project's view file here, and then click on this launch icon to open it through Diversion. The last step is to fully integrate your Unreal project to connect to the source control to Diversion. Launch your project and head to the bottom right corner where it says Revision Control. Click Connect to Revision Control. Set the provider to Diversion. If it doesn't appear, you likely haven't installed the Diversion plugin for Unreal. Be sure to install it. You can find it in the Fab Marketplace. Once selected, it will automatically detect it. You don't have to do anything other than click on the blue Accept settings. Now your project is fully connected with Diversion as the source control. But how do we add another collaborator? Anyone that wishes to join your project must follow similar steps that we took, except creating their own repository. First, they must create a Diversion account, and then download the Diversion desktop app. Secondly, you must invite them to your repository via email. So head back to the home page, click on this logo, that will take you back. And next to sync are these 3 dots. Click on that, and click on Repo Collaborators. Get the email of the developers and send them an invite. I'd advise on changing this to admin. On their end, they'll need to accept the collaboration invite. Once they do, they'll see the repository and can clone it, which downloads a copy of the branch that you uploaded, which in this case is main. Before you even start to work together, it is important that you understand how workspaces and branches work. Remember that middle tab we looked into? We want to go back into that, so click back into your project and into this middle tab. To explain it simply, Workspaces and Diversion are local copies of your project, where you can make changes safely without affecting others. Branches are like different timelines of the project that let you work on new features, fixes, or experiment separately. When you're done on your branch, you can merge it back to main so everyone's work can stay in sync. Right now, we're on the default branch called main, which we don't want to work on, especially when collaborating with someone else. Main will be a branch where we simply merge progress to and recreate more branches in the future from main. First, let's create 2 separate branches, one for myself and one for the collaborator. click on New Branch. The branch name should be something meaningful. For example, if you're working on a mechanic like a lockpick system, you could name it lockpick_branch. Alternatively, you could use your first name as a prefix, such as firstname_branch. I'm going to name my branch Cry Branch. Below there's an option that lets us automatically switch to this branch once it's created. This means that as soon as we create this branch, we'll automatically move into it. This is useful if you're creating only one branch, but because we're making more, let's uncheck this for now. It has now created our branch but moved us into this page. Don't worry, just click on Back to Workspace on the top. If we click on the middle tab again, you might notice that we don't see our branch. I don't know if this is a bug, but the branch does exist, but you have to refresh it. So go back to the home page and then back to your Diversion repository and check again. On the top, it should say main, the branch that you're in. So let's just create a new branch for our collaborator. I'm going to name this collab branch and then uncheck the switch button and then create the branch. I can't see the branch, so I'm just going to refresh it. Now we have two branches, both created directly from main, and anyone collaborating with you can see them. The workflow is simple, each person works in their own branch. So I'll click on my branch, Cry Branch, and there's a little button to the right of it here that gives you a drop down menu. Click on Switch to Branch and then click on Switch. Your collaborators will do the exact same thing but switch to their own branch. Whenever you're creating or merging branches, make sure Unreal Engine is closed whilst you're managing things in Diversion. I'm going to launch Unreal directly from Diversion, and I'll be adding a simple Linetrace that despawns any object it hits. Once you've made changes, you need to commit them to the branch. Typically you commit them after finishing a feature or a set of changes to save your progress. To commit these changes, first make sure to save everything, so go to File and Save All. Then click on the bottom right on Revision Control and Commit Changes. It shows you which files have been added, changed or removed. You can ignore the 4 crossed out files I have as they're from unrelated blueprints. Normally any changes that you make or new files that you add to your branch will appear here, ready to be committed. Always include a comment message when committing. I usually write the date along with the brief description of why I added it in the commit. Once you've written your comment, click Commit to push your changes to the branch. This is the proper way to commit changes within the engine whenever you make updates. If you go back to Diversion, you can view your commits in the History tab. It's a great way to track your progress, especially if you leave clear comments and stay organized. The history also shows the time and date of each commit, along with the files that were added, modified or removed. Whilst I was working on this Linetrace function, my collaborator has created some materials for me to use, but because I'm in my own branch, I can't see any of those materials. He's completed his side of the work and is now pushing his commit on his branch. What's great about Diversion is that it lets you switch to another collaborator's branch. I can see what my collaborator's created in his branch and vice versa. Close Unreal first, head back to Diversion and into the middle tab. Select the branch you want to switch into. For me, it's going to be the collaborator's branch. One of two situations may occur. Diversion seamlessly lets you switch into another branch, or you run into this particular problem. When this happens, it means you have uncommitted changes in your branch. This usually occurs after you made a commit and then you've added more changes afterwards. Just remember, if you continue working after your last commit, you need to commit those new changes as well. I'm going to discard my changes, I don't really care about those, and then switch into my collaborator's branch. Another great feature of Diversion is that it directly flags files with potential conflicts. For example, since I'm currently in my collaborator's branch, if I check the third person character blueprint, you'll notice a yellow exclamation mark. When you hover over it, Diversion shows that the file has potential conflict. It also displays who's editing it, along with the date, time, and the branch where those edits are being made. If you click into this asset, it has this auto soft lock, warning you that should you open this file and make any adjustments, you're going to be creating conflict. My advice is to communicate with your teammates about what you're working on and try to avoid overlapping tasks that can cause conflicts. Diversion does a great job of warning you about potential conflicts, helping you avoid issues before they happen. Finally, let's talk about merging work. Once you and your collaborators have committed your completed features or changes, you can merge both branches together. Click the middle tab. From your branch, you can choose to merge it with your collaborator branch or vice versa. I'm going to merge my branch into the collaborator's branch. I'm going to click on this button here, and I'm going to merge Cry Branch into Collab Branch. And then you want to click on Merge Now. After merging, the Collab branch will include my character blueprint with the Linetrace function, plus the 2 new materials that the collaborators added. The Diversion website offers plenty of documentation and guides. If you need any help, feel free to comment below, and I'll try to do my best to troubleshoot any issues. I hope Diversion is as amazing for you as it has been for me and my team.